Who says money doesn't grow on trees? In Hoover, Alabama, common wood waste that would ordinarily be left to rot, buried in landfills, or burned is being converted into clean-burning ethanol. Ethanol used to power the city's entire fleet of vehicles and equipment. Each year there are enough trees, limbs, and branches placed on the curbs in Hoover to yield hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel. The savings to a city with a fuel bill of more than $1 million a year is tremendous. Gulf Coast Energy, headquartered near Livingston, Alabama, has developed the gasification process that turns wood material into fuel. Why wood?
It's abundant, especially in the southeast. There's lots and lots of wood, and there's lots and lots of waste wood. Wood chips, sawdust, anything that's of wood, we can run and produce fuels with it.
In addition to cost savings, the move to homegrown fuel has important environmental, national security, and economic development advantages. Instead of clogging landfills, waste wood is transformed into clean-burning fuel. The plant has no design vents and delivers exceptional overall environmental performance. In fact, the process is 500% more energy efficient than refining petroleum or fermentation. Producing fuel here reduces our dependence on foreign oil, and money invested in producing fuel in Alabama stays in Alabama. Hoover's move toward a greener energy policy started back in 2004, when the city began burning E85 fuel, which is 85% ethanol and 15% gasoline, in police cruisers and other city vehicles. Hoover's fleet of police cars soon became the largest in the U.S. using alternative fuel. In June of 2006, the city began using B20 biodiesel. And later that same year, the president paid a visit to highlight Hoover's use of alternative fuel.
I want to thank Mayor Tony Patelis and the City Council for being on the leading edge of change. And you're making a fine contribution to our country as well. It's an honor to be here. I'm thrilled to see this E85 plant operating right here in the state of Alabama. I predict there are more coming. And when more come, this country's going to be better off.
The next step in the city's migration to alternative fuel involved using cooking oil donated by restaurants and citizens. The city purchased equipment to convert the used cooking oil into fuel and organized an innovative residential recycling program for cooking oil. Hoover, Alabama was moving into the future, and the world took notice. At a London, England ceremony, the city received an international award for livable communities for its environmentally sensitive practices. By January of 2008, 85% of the city of Hoover's entire fleet was operating on alternative fuel. But the leader of the move towards using alternative fuels, Hoover Mayor Tony Patelis, had already begun to plan the switch from corn-based ethanol to wood-based ethanol.
In the city of Hoover, we've been burning ethanol, corn ethanol, for the last 4 years. We've driven 8 million miles on corn ethanol, and it is the first generation fuel. The second generation is wood, which has not happened in the United States.
Once we get going, we can make it here in the state of Alabama. So when that communication started, to me it seemed like a natural, and we just need to get moving with it.
Get moving they did. In fact, you might say the wood chips literally began to fly, starting in Hoover and traveling to Livingston. The process used here to turn wood biomass into ethanol adds virtually no carbon to the atmosphere. In other words, it's carbon neutral. Gulf Coast's Executive Vice President for Engineering and Construction says the relatively simple chemical process represents a major shift in the way we think about fuels.
This is the best project I've been involved with in my life. It's fantastic. Well, we feel like it's has the potential to change the world. It's it's at least going to change the way we think about fuels in the United States and the use of alternative fuels and renewable fuels, and it's very rewarding to be part of that.
The news spread, with the leaders holding a news conference to share their excitement and drive home the urgent need for a new approach to energy that does not rely on foreign oil.
I've just watched with great admiration, Tony, what you and Hoover have done. You've stepped out, you've taken chances, you've proven things work that a lot of people have doubted could work. And every gallon that we produce here at home, every gallon of waste and pollutant that we can reprocess into a fuel that we can utilize in our automobiles is a gallon we don't have to buy from Hugo Chavez. I mean, that's just that simple.
From the fleet manager to the engineers to Hoover citizens to its mayor, everybody is energized by a fiscally sound, environmentally responsible idea whose time has come.
We in the United States have to do something different. We have to do something to stop our dependency on foreign oil. In the city of Hoover, the amount that we pay landfills to take our wood waste, not the household garbage, just the wood waste, it's over $100,000 a year. When we have a material that can be converted into fuel, you replicate that throughout the United States, we can make billions of gallons of fuel and lessen our dependency on foreign oil. It just makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense on a lot of levels.
I had a reporter ask me, she said, can you afford to send your wood chips 100 miles? I said, sure. I'd rather ship wood waste 100 miles than import foreign oil 7,400 miles from Saudi Arabia. And that money stays in the state of Alabama.
Hoover is a growing city with a bright future. A future made brighter because of the vision that dependence on fossil fuel and foreign oil is not an unsolvable problem, and that living in harmony with nature is a dream that can be realized here and now, because here and now, waste wood is completing its round trip and coming home to fuel the fleet in the city where money quite literally grows on trees.
Today, when we fill up these Tahoes that are parked out here, it'll be the first time in American history where we've taken a wood waste product from a municipality and then converted it into a liquid fuel, which is biomass ethanol.